LSU fans got here early this afternoon. As a matter of fact, it took us, close to 2 hours to get here from our hotel, which normally would be about a 15-minute drive. Because of the fact that so many fans were streaming off the interstate into this stadium, they expect somewhere in the vicinity of 80,000 in order to be more than a sellout this evening.
Yeah, I think actually they had a sunrise service here this morning for these folks. They got here that early. They were here when the sun came up, and they've been partying out in the parking lot, and they're ready to go.
Well, LSU won the toss and will kick off. And so kicking off for the Bayou Bengals will be Matt DeFrank. He is a sophomore who hails from Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Went to Choctaw High School there. Getting ready now for the kickoff. Ricky Nattiel will be deep for the University of Florida Gators.
You know, Jim, these kids got goosebumps the size of golf balls out there right now.
It's a beautiful evening for football here in Baton Rouge. Neal and Nattiel will be the deep backs as DeFrank gets ready to move to the football, and we'll get underway with football action from Baton Rouge as the University of Florida Fighting Gators take on the Bengal Tigers of LSU. It's high and deep and will be taken by Nattiel at the 1. He's at the 5, the 10, the 15, the 20, across the 20 to the 24-yard line. A nice return for this young man. Kerwin Bell starting at quarterback, 54 for 79, 806 yards, percent 68, 10 touchdowns, 1 interception, and in passing efficiency, he is the leader in the nation. Neil Anderson, John L. Williams, Ricky Nattiel, Ray McDonald, Walter Odom, the skill position people for Florida. Across the front, Williams, Zimmerman, McCarthy Davis, and Jack Gerzina from Fort Pierce making his first start. He's a fifth-year senior. Waiting for the snap on 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line is Kerwin Bell with the I formation to give off. Goes to Neil Anderson, who turns the corner upfield and goes to the 30-yard line before he's brought down by Ron Sancho, a freshman for LSU. For LSU, it's Sancho, Barbet, Burks, Thomas, Gaston, Wilson, and Herschel Brooks. Also deep, Guidry, Rahage, DeWitt, and Pearson. And that's the way that the starting lineups look for this evening's contest.
Good field position for the Gators. They got outside rather easily on the first play.
2nd and 4 at the 30-yard line. I formation with a slot being used. Kerwin Bell's give-off goes to the tailback, Neil Anderson, across the 31-yard line. And Anderson tripped up by the Bayou Bengals' Tony Caston. Anderson, 68 for 274, averaging 4 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. Longest run is a good one this year for Neil as he ripped a good one off against Mississippi State last week in Starkville. It'll be 3rd and 3. The football at the 31-yard line. Bell looks to throw out in the flat, incomplete, intended for John L. Williams, who was in the near side flat. Falls is incomplete, and Roland Barbet putting the pressure on for LSU.
Yeah, they couldn't have got John L. with a hand grenade there if he had caught the ball, but it was just over his reach.
Ray Criswell will come on to kick away for the University of Florida on 4th and 3. Ball at the 31-yard line. There is Criswell waiting for the snap. Senior from Orange Park gets away. A good boot taken by Owens at the 30, and he is drilled by the University of Florida special teams right as he touches the football. Tracy Daniels, the first guy to hit him. And so it was a punt of 30 yards, a return of 2.
Well, it seems to be a penalty on the play. They're discussing it right now on the field.
Flag down as the officials talk about it, and we'll see what the call is. The flag is down at the 34-yard line. It is a clip, and it's going to go against LSU. Not making this group of fans very happy here in Baton Rouge at Tiger Stadium. Jeff Wickersham, the quarterback, and he is the leader in most of the passing categories here at LSU. He and Alan Risher hold many of the records, along with guys like Burt Jones and Y.A. Tittle. They have certainly had some great ones here. Skill position people for the Tigers: Hilliard, James, Davis, McGee, and Andrews. Across the front, Norwood, Gore, Albergamo, Melachon and Hazard. Waiting for the snap was Jeff Wickersham from Merritt Island, Florida. Goes to throw on first down, out in the flat, and he's got his man at the 24-yard line for a completion, and the completion goes to Rogie McGee. Patrick Miller, Garland, Pennington, Brown, White, Williams, and Alonzo Johnson for Florida, along with Stacy, Knight, White, and Jarvis Williams.
Gary James was open in the flat right there. He had a couple of choices.
So 2nd down and 2 for the Tigers of LSU. They've got the football on the 23-yard line. Florida digging in. Wickersham's pitch goes out to Dalton Hilliard, and he's brought down by Scott Armstrong.
Ricky Knight, the strong safety, making a nice play, forcing the running back inside so the pursuit can make the tackle.
Hilliard, a great running back, and we'll get the call from the field in just a moment. Let's take a look at it.
Now the Gators seem to be moving across the line of scrimmage before the snap of the ball. There wasn't any movement on LSU's side of the line of scrimmage.
Well, the word from the crowd is it's against Florida, and it's just been marched off to the 30-yard line. So it'll be first down for LSU at the 30. They're in their own territory. This, Jim, is an exceptionally important game for both teams, not only from the unbeaten standpoint and the SEC standpoint, but for many other reasons.
Well, LSU does not play Tennessee, Auburn, or Georgia. Their toughest game on the schedule after the Gators is later in the year when they play Alabama. So it's critical that the University of Florida wins this ball game tonight because LSU doesn't have that difficult of a schedule remaining in the SEC.
12 minutes and 7 seconds left to play in the first quarter, and there's no score in the football game here at Baton Rouge. Florida 2-0-1 coming in. LSU is 2-0. The Gators beat Miami, tied Rutgers, and beat Mississippi State last week in Starkville. 1st and 10 now for the Tigers at the 30-yard line. Florida with a 3-man front, using the 3-4 defense. The pitch goes to Hilliard, and he is brought down just as he hits the line of scrimmage. Good pursuit by the Florida defense. Jeff Roth, a freshman from Seminole, Florida, makes the hit for the Gators.
In 1982, Dalton Hilliard had the best game I've ever seen a college freshman running back have in Gainesville. He was just incredible. He's been a tremendous star for LSU, and he's a senior. He's a legitimate Heisman Trophy candidate.
Last year, this game ended in a 21-21 tie. Watch as Wickersham throws, and he is complete to the 35-yard line. The carry was to the 47 as he hits Gary James coming out of the backfield, and Ricky Knight, the strong safety from Gainesville, makes the hit.
The Gators are in a deep zone here, and Leon Pennington has to run with Gary James. The other linebackers chasing the tight end down the field. Leon Pennington's by himself chasing Gary James till he gets some help from Ricky Knight, the safety.
The Tigers get a first down, and the football is spotted down at the 43-yard line. A lone setback being used. That is Hilliard, who gets the call and is swarmed under by the middle of the Florida line. Patrick Miller first there to greet him, the big senior from Panama City.
What a game Patrick Miller had last week playing for Alonzo Johnson. Patrick Miller just had a fantastic ball game. He's one of the finest linebackers in the conference.
A 1-yard gain on that last one for Hilliard, so that makes it 2nd and 9 for LSU. As the Florida defense digs in. Wickersham to throw in the flat on the near side to Hilliard, and let's see if they give him the completion. Let's take a look now at the replay.
Looks like we're going to hit the back in the flat. Gary James goes down, runs about a 10-yard out. Again, underneath the cornerback, Curtis Stacy. Jim, we might mention that LSU's playing with a rebuilt offensive line, just like the University of Florida is. They have one offensive guard returning and the tight end on that offensive line.
Wickersham to throw again. Looks, and again he gets Gary James coming out of the backfield. Brought down by Alonzo Johnson. Well, we'll get a chance now to take a look at that play again.
Watch Gary James. If we get a shot, he's going to roll out in the flat and spin off Alonzo Johnson. He's already hit Alonzo Johnson and rolled off inside, escaping Alonzo's grasp. It's a first down for the Bengal Tigers.
Bill Arnsparger, 10-3-1 at LSU. And they go with the run on first down and 10. The ball spotted down on the 45-yard line of Florida. Dalton Hilliard with a carry, and Keith Williams, a junior right tackle from Milton, Florida, makes the tackle for the Gators, along with Scott Armstrong, junior from Ocala Forest High School.
Well, it looks like LSU's decided to throw the ball to loosen the Gators up so that they can run the ball more effectively, but it looks like they're thinking pass first, run second.
Wickersham 4 for 4, second and 8. Ball on the 43-yard line of Florida. No score with 9:31 to play in the first quarter. Wickersham goes back, slips down at the midfield stripe, and so that's going to set LSU back.
Speaking about defense, the Gators are number 5 in the SEC in pass defense, giving up 211 yards a game. Rushing defense, Florida's number 3 in the conference, giving up about 100 yards a game.
Florida, of course, also number 1 in that scoring offense. 3rd and 15 for LSU. The ball on the 50-yard line. Jeff Wickersham from Merritt Island, Florida, the quarterback. To throw, chased out of the pocket, is hit and brought down way behind the line. A lot of pressure from the Florida defense back at the 37-yard line. Alonzo Johnson, the Gators All-American, the outside linebacker, blitzes in.
I tell you what, Alonzo Johnson gets knocked off his feet by the tight end and the tackle. Look at him go down on the right side of your picture. Now he's going to get up. He's not going to lay there and take a vacation. Look at Alonzo hustle over there to make the tackle on Wickersham. LSU gives up a big loss. They wish they could have thrown that one away.
DeFrank is going to punt now for LSU on 4th and a cab ride. Boots it away high. Natillo calls for the fair catch at the 24-yard line. So the Gators get a chance to take over the football offensively with no score in the football game. 8 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the first quarter, a 37-yard boot.
All-American effort by Alonzo Johnson made that punting situation possible. He just tremendous hustle. He made the sack. Now the Gators have about the same field position they had earlier in the game, just outside their own 20-yard line.
Here comes Florida, 1st and 10. The ball at the 24-yard line for the Gators. I formation with a slot to the left side. The give-off goes to Anderson, rips up the middle and carries to the 34-yard line, close to a first down. Neil Anderson.
Mike DeWitt, safety's going to have to make the tackle, and as we've mentioned before, anytime your safety has to make the tackle, you know you're in trouble at the line of scrimmage. Obviously, it's very early in the game, but that's got to make the Gators feel good about their running game, busting through that big hole.
Credit Jimmy Davis with a nice block on that one, too. It's 2nd and 1 on the 34-yard line. John L. Williams trying to turn the corner outside, but FSU shuts him down. And the outside linebacker is Toby Caston, a junior from Monroe, and he hits him right at the line. May have got the first down. We'll have to see in just a moment. John L., an all-purpose back, but rushing-wise, he's 43 for 168 yards, averaged just under 4 per carry, and his longest run of the year, 15 yards. He's also an excellent receiver. By the way, Jim and I will be picking our selection of the Mid-State Federal Player of the Game in the 4th quarter as we take a look at Galen Hall, who is 10-0-1. It is a first down for the Gators. Ball on the 35-yard line. I formation being used, and Kerwin Bell looks to throw. Goes long, incomplete. It was intended for Frankie Neal coming off the left side, but falls as incomplete. And the coverage was by James Pearson for LSU. Kind of an interesting series between these two clubs, which began back in 1937. LSU leads at 16 and 12, and there's been 3 ties. And here's a look at the replay of the pass. So there it falls as incomplete as Neal was trying to split the zone. The give-off goes to Anderson, and he is hit right as he hits the line of scrimmage. Tommy Clapp, a sophomore right defensive end for LSU, the tackler. So it's 3rd down and 11 now for the Florida Gators In '83, Florida won by a score of 31-17 here in Baton Rouge. By the way, the last time the home team won in this series was back in 1979. 3rd and 11. As Kerwin Bell drops, steps out of the pocket, rolls over, throws, and it is incomplete. The intended receiver downfield for Florida was Ray McDonald, the senior from Belglade. Fourth and 11 is the situation. Ball on the 35, and Ray Criswell to punt from Orange Park, Florida, and kicks it away high, and he really booms that one deep. Owens, the intended receiver, he takes the football, turns upfield, and goes to the 35-yard line. He's brought down there by Roland Cummings from the Florida Special Teams unit. A 42-yard boot for Ray Criswell. 6 minutes and 11 seconds to play in the first quarter, and there is no score in the football game as Jeff Wickersham goes to work, throws, and it is complete out in the flat to Gary James, who's driven out of bounds on the near side at the 40-yard line. Nice gain on the play. We'll take a look at it once again, as here is Jeff Wickersham. We look at the end zone shot. He drops back and throws it, and James bobbles it for just a moment. There's a nice sideline shot. Second down and 6 with 5:36 to play in the first quarter. And Hilliard gets the call and goes to the 45-yard line. He's going to be close to the first down. Scott Armstrong, the big junior from Ocala, makes the tackle for Florida. First and 10 now for the LSU Tigers, as they were able to pick up the first down on the last play. Florida's defense has bent a little bit, but they haven't broken, and the offense hasn't got really on track here in the first quarter yet. Split backfield now behind the quarterback Wickersham. The call goes to Gary James. He tries it outside and upfield and gets a couple of tough yards before Jarvis Williams, a sophomore from Palatka, and Scott Armstrong bring him down for Florida. .439 to play in the first quarter. Second down and 8 now for LSU, as they're on their side of the midfield stripe, and they go to work on the 47-yard line. Dropping back is Wickersham. He's looking, throws, and it is incomplete. Intended for James coming out of the backfield. Good coverage by Adrian White, a junior from Orlando, Florida, for the University of Florida. So Gary James walking back, not pleased about that, nor is Jeff Wickersham, and it'll be third down and 8 for LSU. 4:20 to play, first quarter.
Gary James is a leading receiver for LSU. He caught 80 passes in his career.
Wickersham 5 for 6 for 37 yards as he looks to throw again. Under pressure, brought down by Florida, way back there at the 37-yard line.
Clifford Charlton, number 56, getting in there, making a great play. Alonzo Johnson also in on the play.
Boy, did they come in, too. A lot of pressure.
Watch Charlton coming in from your right side. This 56 has got great speed. Charlie Bailey, the defensive coordinator, loves that kid. And Alonzo Johnson in on the blitz as well.
4th and 18, and DeFrank will kick away for LSU. Ricky Nattiel, you're looking at that gentleman. Excellent return man. The kick is high, and Nattiel calls for the fair catch, but it hit down and bounced, and he took it at the 24-yard line. Walden Cager makes the tackle for LSU. Credit him for the Bayou Bengals. 3:36 to play, first quarter, no score, 1st and 10 for the Gators. And once again, they're at that 24.
That's right. They're getting another shot, about the same position they had the previous 2 series. Good field position for the Gators. They just need to put a couple of first downs together.
Well, here they come, and they're going to run the slot offense. Frankie Neal, 21, in the slot, which would be a little to the right of your screen. A lone setback, and Kerwin Bell at the controls. The pitch goes to John L. Williams trying to turn upfield, and LSU sniffed that one out and stopped him right there. It was Barbet and Burks combining for the Tigers. Second down 10 now for Florida at the 24. Total offense this evening, 24 for LSU, 21 for Florida. No score in the first quarter.
Both teams have a powerful offense, and neither one of them can get on track at this point.
Split backfield behind Bell. He's got receivers left and right, and Bell to throw. Throws, and it is incomplete. It was Neil Anderson out on the right side and just could not hang on to the football. James Pearson, the quick corner man, was the coverage guy for LSU.
Neil Anderson just couldn't get his hands on the ball. The Gators are having problems latching onto that football tonight. Kerwin's on target, I believe. They're just having problems holding onto the football.
Well, Kerwin's 0 for 4, and that's not a statistic that he is used to.
And it's not his fault. As we mentioned, I think they've dropped about 3 of them.
3rd and 9 for Florida on the 25-yard line as they go with the lone setback. Kerwin Bell looks, throws out in the corner to the tight end, Walter Odom, and it looks like he's got the first down at the 38-yard line.
Steve Rehage on the tackle on the tight end, Walter Odom. What a dimension this gives the Gator offense. They've been throwing to their backs. They've got experienced wide receivers, but when you also have a tight end, you give the defense all kind of problems. Walter Odom has played very, very well. The 2 games the Gators have played this year, and he comes out tonight and catches a big pass on that first down play.
Well, that's the first completion of the evening, and Odom is having, as you said, an excellent season. 1st and 10 now, ball on the 38-yard line, and the give-off is to the tailback, straight up the middle across the 41-yard line, and that is Neil Anderson, brought down by Roland Barbet.
Well, Neil Anderson's just a little under 100 yards short of Tony Green's career rushing record at the University of Florida. We keep saying what a great back Neil Anderson is, and he continues to prove his worth.
Anderson 5 carries, 21 yards this evening. 2nd and 7 for the Gators. Ball on the 41-yard line. I formation being used. Kerwin Bell again looks to throw, and he's got John L. Williams at the 45, and he fights to the 49-yard line before he's brought down by Cager, number 6. Let's take a look at it again.
Watch the protection. Kerwin's not going to get hassled at all on this play. He's got a chance to look around. Finds John L. out in the flat like he does every Saturday afternoon or evening. John L. Williams, the leading receiver for the University of Florida to this point in the season.
John L. Williams, 17 catches, 154 yards, averaging a little over 9 yards every time he catches the ball, and has gotten 3 touchdowns this year. His longest pass reception, 16 yards. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. I formation. John L. Williams is the up back, and you're looking at Kerwin Bell. The pitch goes to Neil Anderson, who throws left-handed long. Oh, Ray McDonald is at the 10 to 5, and he's in the end zone for the score. Ray McDonald, out in front of everybody, catches the football on the reception from Neil Anderson.
Well, this was in the playbook last year. Lorenzo Hampton tried this against Miami last year and almost had a touchdown. Now Neil Anderson comes back lefty and hits Ray McDonald, who's from Belgrade, Florida, and Ray dances in the end zone. A big 6 for the Gators.
Now here's Jeff Dawson, a junior from Lantana, Florida, to attempt the extra point. The hold will come from Ray Criswell. Bird is the snapper, and he steps into it and boots it through. And the score right now, the University of Florida 7 and LSU nothing. All right, there you're looking at none other than Neil Anderson. He looked like Kenny Stabler on that one, didn't he? 6 plays, 76 yards, 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and the score is 7-0.
Give credit to Mike Heimerdinger and Galen Hall for seeing that play was wide open.
Francis kicks off deep into the end zone, and dropping down on one knee for LSU is Sam Martin, sophomore return man. And here's Albert the Alligator, happy about this touchdown.
As we mentioned, Mike Heimerdinger is in the press box, and he probably called down to Galen Hall and said, hey, these backs are chewing up on our running game. Let's see if we can sneak one behind him. And there goes Ray McDonald in for 6.
1 minute and 21 seconds to play in the first quarter, and Florida's up on LSU by a score of 7-0. The Bayou Bengals with the football at the 20, 1st and 10. Jeff Wickersham from Merritt Island, Florida. The quarterback looks to throw and does, and he's complete to Hilliard coming out of the backfield, but he's drilled as he catches the football right at the 26-yard line. Gerald Dickens and Alonzo Johnson combining for the Gator defense.
Now that's exactly like the defense is coached. Let that back catch the ball in front of you, then swarm to him and make the tackle and give him 3 or 4 yards. They don't want to give 6 or 7, though. It looks like Dalton Hilliard's got the ability to turn 3 yards into 7 or 8 or more at any time.
He's got great ability, there's no doubt about that. 2nd and 4 with 47 seconds to play first quarter. Hilliard gets the call coming to the near side and being chased out right at about the 29-yard line, so it looks like he might be short of the first down. We'll see in just a moment. Scott Armstrong drove him out for Florida. Bell and the Teal along the sideline. You know, there's a Florida connection at LSU. There are several players from the University of Florida, as we've mentioned, the kicker, DeFrank and Wickersham, and several others. But Bill Arnsparger, the head coach at LSU, has a son at the University of Florida. And, of course, those in South Florida know him as the longtime coach of the Dolphin defense. 3rd down and 1 for LSU. The give goes to Hilliard, and he is stacked up behind the line. A flag on the play. Alonzo Johnson hit him right there. Albert the Alligator. Cute little guy.
Well, Gators shut that one down at the line of scrimmage, but I think there was some anticipation, and they got across the ball too early.
Yeah, it's against Florida.
Now, the Gator defense is looking tough, though. They're not giving anything of any major consequence to LSU. Up to this point, they're bending, and they don't mind bending. They want to keep the opponent from the end zone. One problem the Gators have had, they've given up a little over 20 points a game, and that's the statistic they want to avoid, giving up points.
It was the 5-yarder, 4 being offsides. So that brings up 1st and 10 for LSU at the 33. The give-off goes to Hilliard, and he goes to the 39-yard line. Gerald Dickens, a junior from Plant City, makes the tackle.
A lot of strength inside linebacker for the University of Florida. Leon Pennington, 45, alternates with Gerald Dickens. Dickens from Plant City, a junior, doing a nice job out there.
12 seconds to play in the first quarter as the Tigers of LSU come out of the huddle. Wickersham looks, he's got plenty of time, goes long, and it is incomplete. Deep downfield was one of the wideouts, Wendell Davis, and also Rogie McGee was out on the pass pattern, but it looked like he let that one sail.
Yeah, there was some confusion on the pass route. He was expecting Wendell Davis to get downfield, and he didn't.
That's the end of the first quarter, and we'll be right back with more action from Tiger Stadium after we take time out for these messages. On 3rd and 4 from the 39, Florida's Clifford Charlton sacks LSU's quarterback, Jeff Wickersham. Watch.
Now, this kid's a great player. He gives an Olay move to the offensive tackle, Ralph Norwood, and beats him very quickly and sacks Wickersham. Wickersham did not have a chance on that play.
4th and 14, ball on the 29. They're going to have to kick away. Matt DeFrank will boot for LSU.
From Fort Walton Beach, Florida.
Gets it off, and it bounces high and comes down at the 40-yard line. So great field position now for the Gators, as Garland Jean-Baptiste was down it for LSU.
Jean-Baptiste. Jean-Baptiste. That's French, right?
Probably, yes.
French Cajuns. There's some Gators having a good time.
They certainly have, coming up here to Baton Rouge, where they've been all excited about this football game all week long. That was a short punt, 31 yards.
You're looking at three great players in that offensive line just a shot ago. Walter Odom and big David Williams, who's a tremendous young tackle as a freshman, alongside the big Hulk Jeff Zimmerman.
1st and 10 at the 41-yard line for the Gators. John L. Williams on the counter and gets a short yard out of it. Henry Thomas, a big junior, makes a hit for LSU's Bayou Bengals.
I'll tell you what, Jim Gallagher, if you're going to push LSU around, you better do it this year, because they've only got one senior on that defensive team. And they've got about 6 or 7 lettermen playing out there tonight, but they're really 1 year away from being a fantastic defense.
Well, as far as their defensive coaching is concerned, as you very well know, having played in the National Football League for 10 years, Bill Arnsparger is regarded as somewhat of a genius, and he's done a great job as head coach here. And he's got some good people like Mike Archer working under him. 2nd and 9, ball on the 42-yard line, and Kerwin Bell to throw for the Gators. He's being chased way back there. And now Kerwin's hanging onto the football. Nice blocking by Florida as Kerwin comes trying to get out of bounds on the near side. Goes almost to the first down, or might have it. We'll see in just a moment. He crossed the midfield stripe.
Well, Kerwin's not going to win any track meets, but he has that Jim Plunkett ability of dodging and dipping and avoiding defensive linemen. He doesn't have that speed, but he just has that knack for escaping. And he's going to get loose and get down the field, and he has to get out of bounds a little bit earlier, I believe. Kerwin's taking a little bit more of a chance than he should take. He ought to head for that sideline as soon as he can. He's too valuable to be running that pigskin out there.
It's 3rd and short yardage for the Gators. He is quicker than Earl Morrow, though. You've got to admit that. The upback, number 22, John L. Williams. The call, Neil Anderson, and it looks like he's got the first down for Florida at the 48-yard line.
Not easy, but he did get it.
There is Mike Four, the Tiger for LSU, and Albert the Alligator. Albert likes number 87.
Mike the Tiger is a Floridian. He came from Busch Gardens. I was reading that in the program this evening.
Well, like we said, there's a Florida connection here in the Bayou country.
And there's about 4,000 Gators that made the trip up here. If there had been more tickets available, they could have sold them easily in Florida.
This has been the toughest ticket since the last Super Bowl that was here, I think. 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line for the Gators, and it's Neil Anderson, and he hits to the 45-yard line. Brought down by Castor and Burks.
Well, some people call this ugly football, but I tell you what, when you're the head coach and you can pick up 4 or 5 yards on first down, you'll take it every chance you get.
2nd and 7 now for the Gators. Ball on the 46. They lead this football game 7-0, leading on LSU here in the first half.
Neil Anderson, 7 attempts for 26 yards tonight.
Waiting for the snap is Kerwin Bell with the split backfield behind him. And Bell's got the time to throw. He's got a short one out in the flat, and he's got his man for a completion at the 26-yard line. Big tight end Walter Odom takes the football down. Chris Carrier makes the tackle for LSU. And as you say, you played that position so well here at Florida, those tight ends like to see the football.
From American High School, Walter Odom. And Walter's just got a lot of talent. He hadn't seen the football much in the last couple of years, but Kerwin now has some faith in him, and he's throwing the ball to him regularly.
1st and 10 for the Gators at the 28-yard line now. They lead by a score of 7-0, and they're driving on LSU.
And it takes 2 or 3 guys to bring Walter down anytime he gets out there in that open field.
He is big enough to go to work all by himself. The give-off goes to Neil Anderson, right side across the 25 and to the 20-yard line. great balance and always looking to get to the goal line. Curtis Carrier, or rather Chris Carrier, makes the hit for LSU. As you look, as those Gator fans are happy about that carry.
John L. Williams, the fullback, makes the hook block on the outside that gets Neil Anderson outside. Once Neil Anderson's outside, it's almost 5 or 6 yards automatic.
He's 8 for 33 so far this evening here at Tiger Stadium. 2nd and 3 at the 20-yard line for Florida as LSU's Bayou Bengals take a long look at the Gators. Kerwin Bell hit and brought down behind the line of scrimmage at the 28-yard line. And the hitman, Ron Sancho, a freshman for the LSU Tiger defensive unit.
It was just simply a broken play. Kerwin Bell made one of his few mistakes and rolled out in the wrong direction, and he was in serious trouble, and the big Ron Sancho put the squeeze on him.
So that puts the football at the 23. It's 3rd down and 6. 10 minutes to play in the first half. Kerwin is 3 for 7 for 41 yards. Started a little slowly, but now he's had 3 completions in a row. Dropping back is Kerwin Bell. Being pressured a little bit, getting great blocking, goes for the end zone, and it is intercepted by LSU on the tip. The Bayou Bengals intercept on the tip, and the interception man is Norman Jefferson for LSU, number 12. The intended receiver was Walter Odom.
The guy that makes the play is Steve Rehaj. He deflects the ball up in the air so his teammate Norman Jefferson can make the interception. Rehaj, number 7, doing a fine job on the coverage. Kerwin tried to squeeze the ball in there. He thought he had a second to drill the ball in there, but Rehaj just made a great play, and then Jefferson had the athletic ability to get the ball on the tip. LSU's ball on their own 20.
1st and 10 for the Bayou Bengals. And Jeff Wickersham to throw. He throws, and it is complete to Hilliard, and Hilliard across the 40-yard line and down at the 43-yard line. He is a great back. There's no doubt about that. Ron Moten, the junior from Clearwater, Florida, brings him down for the University of Florida Gators, and they're going to spot it down. His knee went down at the 40-yard line, so it was a 20-yard completion.
And Dalton Hilliard, 96 receptions in his career coming into this ball game.
1st and 10 now for the Tigers, and they're at their own 40-yard line. Wickersham is 7 of 9, and he slips down in the backfield at about the 35-yard line, so a loss for LSU on that play. Sam Garland, the guy putting the pressure on for the University of Florida defensive unit, number 71.
Well, simply, again, just a mistake by the quarterback. Wickersham lost his balance, and anytime the knee goes down in college football, you're a dead duck. The ball is marked at that point.
2nd and 15 at the 35-yard line for LSU. Again, Wickersham, and he gives off to Hilliard, and Florida brings him down at the 37-yard line. The Florida defense really reacted well on that last play. Jarvis Williams and Leon Pennington combining on him, but I thought was impressed by the reaction.
Well, a little bit of trickery there. Keith Williams, number 66, really does a fine job of being on the ball on this play. He wasn't confused on the Statue of Liberty. And Jarvis Williams comes up to make the tackle. 3rd down at about 13.
At the 37-yard line for LSU, the lone setback behind Jeff Wickersham. The quarterback now goes in motion, and Wickersham, being pressed by Florida, lets it go, and it is incomplete. It was intended for McGee, and he's way out in the flat here on the left side, and the coverage was by Dwayne Glover, and it was Alonzo Johnson really putting the pressure on inside against Wickersham, but there's a flag on the play at the 35.
And pressure again from 56, Clifford Charlton. What a game that kid's playing. You know, he's got speed comparable to Alonzo Johnson and Patrick Miller, and Charlie Bailey, the defensive coordinator, is really high on Clifford Charlton and his future at the University of Florida. Looks like holding against LSU, possibly.
So that's going to bring on LSU's punting team as 4th down comes up. 8 minutes to play in the first half, and the Gators lead by a score of 7-0. The return man will be Ricky Natil, who is leading the Southeastern Conference in punt returns. Last year, coming into this year, he was the leading punt returner in the nation. Waiting for the snap now is DeFrank, the kicker from Fort Walton Beach. Boots it high and way long. And Natil will take it down at about the 18-yard line. Turns upfield at the 20 and is drilled under. special teams. They really did a great job. Chris Carrier, the first guy to hit him there. That was a 45-yard punt and a 3-yard return.
Well, Ricky Nattil coming into this ball game is still leading the SEC in punt returns, even though he's not approaching the 15 yards average he had last year.
He's fearless.
Well, he had to be on that one. He took a giant hit.
1st and 10 for the Gators, and they go to work on the 21-yard line as we look at Bill Arnsparger talking to his unit.
Yeah, I think he's doing more than talking by the expression on his face.
I don't think we better put a mic up close to him anytime soon.
No, not right now.
On the 21-yard line, it is Kerwin Bell. They give off to Neil Anderson, cuts outside. He's across the 30, picks up another first down at the 36-yard line. Brought down by Jefferson and Carrier.
In 1983 here at Tiger Stadium, Neil Anderson had about 140 yards carrying the football, and he broke a play a lot like that one for a long gain, a touchdown actually, in 1983 here at Tiger Stadium. Gets outside, fine blocking by that young offensive line.
1st and 10 at the 35-yard line now for Florida. As they go with a slot offense, number 9 to the left of your screen in the slot, Ray McDonald. I formation, and Bell to throw. He's got his man coming out of the backfield, and that would be John L. Williams, and John L. taken down at the 40. They pick up about 5 on that one, and it was Rehedge making the hit for LSU.
Well, we talked about Gary James and Dalton Hilliard catching the ball for LSU. John L. Williams had 65 receptions going into this ball game. He's a tremendous all-around back. We keep talking about him every Saturday.
John L. Williams from Palatka, Florida. 2nd and 5. Ball on the 40-yard line on the near side hash mark, so the wide side for the Gators would be to their left. 3 down linemen being used by LSU. On the draw, the give-off goes to John L. Williams, but he's hit as he hits the line of scrimmage, and it would be once again Toby Caston for LSU making the tackle.
Big Carl Wilson, number 72, the right end, doing a nice job for the Tigers up front as well.
6 minutes and 26 seconds left to play in the first half. There's an orange and blue Gator cheering the Gators on. As on 3rd and 5, they have the ball at the 40-yard line on their side of the 50. Here's Kerwin Bell. He's being chased and hit by the scrimmage at the 32-yard line. And the hit man would be Carl Wilson, a defensive right end, number 72.
Well, the defensive backfield makes this possible. They double cover the wide receivers, and Carl Wilson's able to come in from the outside, beats David Williams late on the block and makes the sack. Both defenses playing very well this evening.
Ray Criswell will be the kicker for Florida. 4th and 12 at the 33-yard line, and the return man is Darrell Owens. There's the kick from Criswell. Owens looks at it. It hits down at the 30 and will be blown dead at the 32 as Florida special teams do an excellent job of covering it, and that would be Anthony Williams, a young man from Tampa Plant High School, down under the punt. 36 yards to kick from Ray Criswell.
Anthony Williams is one of the true freshmen playing for the University of Florida this year.
The winning attitude starts with individual performance combined with a strong team morale, and Mid-State Federal Savings and Loan admires this spirit and is proud to be the exclusive sponsor of the Most Valuable Player of the Game Award, which will be announced at the conclusion of today's game. Mid-State Federal, Florida's full-service financial center. 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. The give-off goes to the lone setback, Dalton Hilliard. He gets a couple of yards to about the 34 before Alonzo Johnson brings him down.
It's really strange, isn't it? Last week at Mississippi State, we think we're going to see a defensive battle, and they score points left and right. Tonight, we go into this game thinking there's going to be a lot of offense, and the defense is in control. There you see Phil Maggio, the great offensive line coach for the University of Florida, talking to his guys about giving Kerwin a little bit more time.
2nd down and 8. The ball on the 34-yard line now for LSU. Florida with the 3-man front. The give-off on the draw goes to Hilliard, cuts outside, and is hit and brought down. Great defensive play by Florida's Ricky Knight, the sophomore from Gainesville, went to Gainesville High School.
What a play by Ricky Knight. Dalton Hilliard is so dangerous in the open field, and Ricky Knight came up and tied him up quickly, actually close to the line of scrimmage. Watch Ricky Knight, the strong safety, come up here. A beautifully designed draw play. Dalton Hilliard's in the secondary, and watch Ricky Knight come up and make the play.
3rd and 6 on the 36 for LSU, and they're in their own territory. Wickersham lets go, and it is incomplete. A little low, but his receivers were very, very well covered, and Charlton really put the pressure on the young sophomore from Tallahassee at outside linebacker.
Well, Clifford Charlton has got my MVP vote at this time. He's just playing a tremendous ball game. Number 56, Clifford Charlton.
Matt DeFrank, the sophomore from Fort Walton Beach, Florida, Choctaw High School, will kick away for LSU on 4th and 6 from the 36-yard line. Standing at the 22, waiting for the snap, and boots it away from about the 26. It's going to bounce down at the 30-yard line and will bounce back, and LSU covers it at the 28-29-yard line. By the way, National Car Rental is the official car rental company of the Florida Gators. For reservations, call 1-800-CAR-RENT. That's 1-800-CAR-RENT.
Well, talking about defense coming into this ball game, LSU's only giving up an average of 8 points a game. So, you know, they do have a fine defense, even though they've only got one senior, even though they lost 5 or 6 starters from last year. LSU always has a tough defense.
That has been a tradition at this school. 1st and 10, ball on the 29-yard line. And we've got the I formation. And the give-off goes to the tailback, who hits to the 30-yard line for maybe a gain of a yard on the play. John L. Williams brought down by Ron Sancho and Roland Barbet.
Roland Barbet was injured against the University of Florida last year in Gainesville and has gotten another year of eligibility. He got a hardship waiver, and so he's going to get another year. He's playing as a junior out there tonight, number 77, Roland Barbet.
2nd and 9, ball on the 30 for the Florida Gators. They lead it 7-0. The give-off again goes to John L. Williams, and he carries to the 32-yard line. So it's been tough inside for John L. The LSU defense has stiffened a little bit. That was Phillips and Barbet again, combining for LSU's Bayou Bengals.
Wes Barbet's got a beard I'd be proud to wear. He looks like a lumberjack out there. I saw him in pregame warm-ups, and he scared me a little bit.
3 minutes and 5 seconds to play in the first half. The Gators lead LSU 7-0 at Tiger Stadium. 3rd and 7 for Florida. On 3rd down conversions, the Gators 2 for 6 this evening. Kerwin Bell to throw. He looks, and it's complete to the 44-yard line to Brett Wickman, the junior from Gainesville, Florida. He went to Oak Hall High School there.
James Pearson on the play. Brett Wickman, number 20, had an outstanding first 2 ball games for the Gators. Comes in and makes a possession reception, gives the Gators a first down just inside their 45.
And that's exactly what he is, to a great possession receiver. He's caught 6 balls for 65 yards this year.
And he's a senior. He's given some leadership to this fine Florida football team.
1st and 10 at the 43. Again, the Bell system goes to work. A quick one out to John L. Williams. Incomplete. Bell is now 5 for 11 for 59 yards.
5 for 11 with, I believe, 4 or 5 probably drop passes. You're not going to see John L. drop too many, but he was trying to run with the ball before he looked it into his hands.
2nd down, 10. Ball remains at the 33-yard line with 2:23 to play in the second quarter. Kerwin has given the word to the troops. LSU using the 3-4 defense. Kerwin Bell going up over the top, looking long for Natil, and it is incomplete at the 15-yard line. The coverage was by James Pearson, the quick corner man, number 25 for LSU.
Well, Ricky Natil has that great speed. Anytime he gets a chance to use it and streak down the sideline, the Gators are going to try and take advantage of it. James Pearson does a nice job step for step on the coverage, but I tell you what, James Pearson's going to be thinking about that play the rest of the evening, and he might give Ricky Natil a little bit more of a cushion than he should.
3rd and 10, ball on the 43-yard line. Florida 3 for 7 on 3rd down conversions this evening. A lone setback behind Kerwin Bell. Kerwin's got the time to throw. Let's go, and it is complete to the 45-yard line for the first down to Walter Odom, brought down by Steve Rehod.
And again, Kerwin Bell having the poise to stand in the pocket. He realized he was getting pressure from both sides of the line of scrimmage, but he wasn't about to give the ball up too early. He waited for Walter Odom to come open, and Walter had the intelligence to get across or near that 45-yard line where he knew it would be a first down.
2 minutes and 1 second to play in the first half. 1st and 10 for the Gators on the 45-yard line of LSU. I formation as Kerwin Bell looks and throws, and it is complete to the 25-yard line to Ricky Nattiel. Another first down for the Gators. James Pearson, the quick corner, makes the tackle for LSU.
Well, watch the protection. Nice job by the young line up front. And he drills Ricky Nattiel. We mentioned that cushion. Pearson was a little bit afraid, and so he was backing up, and Ricky Nattiel had more cushion to work with, and he turned that one out for an easy reception.
Well, last week, Bell and Nattiel hooked up for an 83-yarder at Mississippi State. On 1st and 10, the throw by Kerwin Bell, the completion to Walter Odom. He's at the 10, the 5, and he's inside the 5-yard line. Brought down at the 3. Odom having a fine night. Mike DeWitt makes the tackle.
Walter Odom keeps playing like this. He's going to be on the all-conference team. Sneaks across the middle. Mike DeWitt is a former quarterback. Playing safety, tries to come across over his shoulder, but Walter's too big to go down, and he's quick enough to make a juke there in the secondary. Finally, Ron Sancho catches up with him on about where? The 3-yard line, it looks like.
1st and goal at the 3 for the Gators. Here they come out of the huddle. I formation now being used by Florida. Kerwin Bell at the line. There you see the field level shot. Kerwin Bell to Anderson. Anderson fights to the 1-yard line. Brought down by Sancho and Pearson for the Tigers. We'll be back with more from Tiger Stadium, but first let's take time out for these messages. 2nd and goal for the Gators on the 1-yard line of LSU. There you can see as the Tigers get down. They're going to try to hold Florida out of the end zone. The Gators want to go in with a touchdown. John L. Williams, the up back. Bell chanced the signals. Somebody jumped. I don't know who it's going to be against, but somebody jumped.
Maybe we'll get a replay. Possibly it might have been the tight end. We're not sure who jumped off sides right there. But somebody got anxious. Maybe the crowd noise interfered with their ability to hear the call by Kerwin Bell. Nonetheless, it's a critical 5-yard penalty.
It is a legal procedure against Florida, and it's going to set the football back to the 6. So it'll be 2nd down and goal from this 6-yard line for the Florida Gators. They've got the football on this near side hash mark. The wide side of the field would be to the left. 2nd and goal. Kerwin Bell, the quarterback. Bell chanced the signals. Bell going for the end zone for Frankie Neal, and it is incomplete. A little overthrown on the far side. Carrier and Guidry, the coverage men.
Kevin Guidry, number 27, the strong corner, did a nice job reading the eyes of Kerwin Bell there. He had an idea what they were trying to do, and he wasn't about to let Frankie Neal get the ball in the corner.
So it's 3rd down now and goal to go on the 6-yard line. The Gators lead by a score of 7-0. 38 seconds to play in the first half at Baton Rouge. LSU ranked number 8 in the nation. Florida ranked number 11. Here is Kerwin Bell, and the crowd making a lot of noise at Tiger Stadium as Bell looks, throws, and it is intercepted by LSU on the 4-yard line. Intercepted by Lee Hodge, the junior from Metairie, Louisiana, the strong safety. The intended receiver was Tom Petty, a senior tight end from Hollywood, Florida.
They're trying to sneak the ball to Walter Odom. See him trying to get across there, but he's not open, and Kerwin throws the ball up for grabs as he's slipping down, and Rehaj is standing right there. He couldn't believe the ball was coming to him. If he had had more presence of mind, he'd still be running with the ball. Looked like Michael Brooks, a big, strong linebacker, number 94, putting some pressure on Kerwin Bell.
1st and 10 with the ball on the 4-yard line for LSU with 30 seconds to play in the first half. and the Gators leading 7-0. Straight ahead goes the quarterback, Jeff Wickersham, just trying to move that ball out a little further and trying not to do anything that would cause LSU to lose the football at this point in time.
Well, that's a big turnover by the University of Florida.
And we'll be back with more, but first we're going to take time out for these messages. Wickersham throwing long, and it's intercepted by Florida at the midfield stripe on 2nd and 7 from the 7. Wickersham was throwing long, intended for McGee, who was deep downfield. Jarvis Williams with the interception. And we'll be back with more from Tiger Stadium, but right now, time for these messages. First and 10 on the 50-yard line for the University of Florida Gators. They have just intercepted the football. 6 seconds to play in the first half, and Florida leading the game by a score of 7-0. The Gator Hotline with Galen Hall radio call-in show is aired every Wednesday during football season from 7:07 until 8 p.m. on most of the Gator Radio Network stations. Be sure to tune in every Wednesday evening.
Wickersham just threw that ball up for grabs. Jarvis Williams made a nice interception. Now, do you throw for an out-of-bounds pass to get in position for a field goal, or do you throw it way down the football field? We're going to find out.
All right, here is Kerwin Bell dropping back and being chased out of the pocket, brought down behind the line of scrimmage as time runs out. And it was Carl Wilson, a junior from here in the city of Baton Rouge, who took him down. The right defensive end takes Kerwin Bell down. And so the score at the end of the first half, the Gators of Florida 7 and the Tigers of LSU nothing, as the nation's 8th-ranked team LSU goes against the 11th-rated team, the University of Florida. And it was an interesting first half in a lot of ways, but it didn't exactly possess the explosive offense that a lot of people might have expected from either team with the two great passers.
Yeah, the defense is absolutely in control at this point, but anything can happen in the second half, and most of the folks are like you and I. They can't figure this game out right now.
And just thinking that with the two vaunted passers, Kerwin Bell of the University of Florida and Jeff Wickersham from LSU, so far the touchdown pass was thrown by a halfback, Neil Anderson. He's 1 for 1.
All the fireworks have been by the defense. Yeah.
So that's the way it went here in the first half at Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And we'll see what happens in the second half. Maybe some thoughts, as far as you're concerned, as to what the offensive unit might do for the Gators.
Well, they need to get the ball down the field, you know, take advantage of the veteran wide receivers that they have, and Kerwin has to get his confidence back. I think he's probably a little shaken right now that he's thrown some rather silly passes when he didn't have to, and I think he's going to be thinking about that and going to come back out and want to drill some.
With the score, Florida 7 and LSU nothing. We'll be back with halftime from here in Tiger Stadium, but first we'll take time out for these messages.
Watch this fine young quarterback, Kerwin Bell, who's just gotten better and better in every game he's played for the University of Florida, and I know Kerwin wants to come out and make something happen on offense in the second half.
Well, here come the Gators onto the football field as we get ready to begin the second half here at Baton Rouge. And with the two teams going against each other, you have the number 8 team in the nation, LSU, and the number 11 team, the Florida Gators, and the Gators leading 7-0. John David Francis will be kicking off now for the University of Florida as we get ready to begin the second half of action.
Actually, this is probably the biggest game in the nation on this Saturday in terms of powerhouses in major college football. And the Gators dominating with their defensive play.
So here is Francis, youngster from Stark, Florida. And you're looking at some of the Gator fans that are here to cheer their team on. It is short, reverse end over end, will be taken at the 20-yard line, taken down at the 23-yard line. Dwayne Glover makes the hit on LSU's return man, and that was Mike Smith. Jeff Wickersham, 7 for 12, 64 yards, 1 interception.
He usually gets 64 yards in a series, much less a whole half. Let's see what happens with this first series of the second half.
1st and 10 on the 24-yard line for LSU. And the give-off is going to go to Gary James, trying to turn outside. He's brought down as he hits the corner by the Florida Gators. Pat Miller, the senior from Panama City, makes the hit.
So much speed with the Gator defense. Just tremendous speed as a unit on defense. And you're playing against two of the better running backs, probably the best tandem, maybe with the exception of Auburn's running backs in the conference. And that Gator defense is swarming all over tonight.
They have been impressive. 2nd and 9. Ball on the 25-yard line for LSU. Jeff Wickersham. Quick little pass, incomplete. Little swing out to Gary James, and falls is incomplete. And you know, what's been good about the Florida defense is they are getting Wickersham to hurry his throws, and I think that's one of the big factors in shutting him down this evening.
Well, if there's anything that gives a fan a heart attack, it's watching the opponent stand back there and look for his receivers. So as a fan, you love to see the pressure from the Gator defense on the opposing quarterback, and that's what we're getting out there tonight. 3rd
and 9, ball remaining on the 25-yard line for Wickersham. And Wickersham throws long, and it is incomplete. Incomplete at the 39-yard line. McGee, the intended receiver, Scott Armstrong and Adrian White, the coverage men for Florida.
And Clifford Charlton almost giving Excedrin headache number 55 to Jeff Wickersham out there. He just barely missed him. A lot of pressure by Charlton, and Wickersham was aware of it, unloaded down the field, but McGee was not able to hold on to the ball.
DeFrank, 5 punts for 35-yard average, longest 45, and he's standing at the 12-yard line, 3rd and 9 from the 25. It's going to hit down at the 45 and roll down to the 35-yard line as it takes an LSU roll, a 40-yard boot. Kerwin Bell is 8 for 17 for 109 yards, been intercepted twice. Talks to Galen Hall across the way. Hall was a fine quarterback at Penn State, played professionally with the Redskins and the Jets before beginning his coaching career at West Virginia, going on to a fine coaching career for a long time at Oklahoma, where he was the offensive coordinator there for 10 years. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line now for the Florida Gators. They go with a lone setback. The give goes to John L. Williams, who comes to the near side and crosses the 40 to the 41-yard line. It would be James Pearson, sophomore cornerman for LSU, who brings him down.
Charlie Bailey, the defensive coordinator, giving some instructions on the sidelines. I'm sure he doesn't have to give much instruction at this point. They're playing so well. Back to the offense. John L. Williams throwing a fine block again on the weak side there, allowing Neil Anderson to get outside.
It's 2nd and 4 with the ball at the 41-yard line. And Ray McDonald, number 9, in the motion man. The give-off goes to Anderson, and Anderson across the 45 and goes to the 48-yard line before he's brought down by Burks and Pearson.
All great running backs run with their eyes open. They just don't close their eyes and slam in there. Neil Anderson saw that the defense was over pursuing, so he made the cutback. Watch the cutback here. He's going to dart back behind his blockers and pick up 4 or 5 yards and deliver a real blow to the secondary.
1st and 10 at the 48-yard line for the Gators as they pick up the first down. Anderson is 11 carries for 53 yards. The call goes to John L. Williams, who turns upfield and fights inside the 45 to the 43-yard line before Caston and Pearson make the tackle.
Well, we see the LSU fans, and they're not that excited as a few Gator fans on the side. One of the keys when you're playing an opponent in his home stadium is to keep the crowd out of the game, and the Gators have done a great job tonight keeping the Bengal Tiger fans mystified, at least in the first half.
2nd and 1 for the Gators at the 47-yard line, or rather, should say the 43-yard line. I formation being used. The up back, John L. Williams, and Kerwin Bell's give goes to Anderson outside, cuts inside, and carries across the 30, inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. James Pearson, the quick corner man, brought him down.
Remember the cutback that Neil Anderson made a little earlier. Watch him give that little dip, and then he's outside. got great speed and refuses to go down. 3 or 4 Bengal Tigers have a hit on him, but Neal continues down the field. This is a good-looking drive for the Florida Gators.
1st and 10 for the Gators at the 29-yard line. Neal is 12 carries, 67 yards. Bell's give goes to Anderson, and Anderson goes to the 26-yard line, picks up about 3 yards before Michael Brooks brings him down.
Entering this ball game, Neal Anderson was averaging a little over 90 yards per ball game, and he looks like he's going to be right on his average here tonight if he continues to run with the authority that he's showing. There's big 57, Sean Burks, who is a leader at inside linebacker for LSU. Sean Burks, number 57, the only senior on that defensive unit.
2nd and 7, ball on the 26-yard line for the Gators. Going to have 3 down linemen now for LSU. And a lone setback. And the give goes to Anthony Williams, the sophomore from Tampa, who goes right up the middle for a short gain. Carl Wilson brings him down, along with Carl Wilson, by the way, gave the invocation. Well, there's a great shot of one of the campus buildings here at LSU. We're on the LSU campus at Tiger Stadium. Florida is 4 for 9 in 3rd down conversions. 3rd and 5 at the 24-yard line. Again, the I formation being used. Kerwin Bell throws. He's got Anthony Williams at the 20. He's inside the 20 and brought down at the 17-yard line. Brought down by Kevin Guidry and Mike DeWitt.
Anthony Williams from Tampa Plant High School. Seen some action, giving Neal Anderson a bit of a break. Watch the young sophomore get outside and shows good hands on the reception, good concentration.
And you could hear the Go Gators along the far sideline. 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line as Florida marches on LSU. The Gators lead by a score of 7-0. 10 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. We're in the 2nd half at Baton Rouge. The give-off goes to Neal Anderson, who fights across the 15 to the 14-yard line. And the tackler for LSU is Henry Thomas, the nose guard. There you see, those guys are happy about the way that Florida is putting a drive together. Anderson, 14 carries for 74 yards.
He got a big pop there by Henry Thomas, a 255-pounder, but he just did a 360 and got a couple more yards.
2nd and 7, the ball at the 15-yard line. And the give-off goes to John L. Williams, turning outside, brought down at the 10-yard line. Bringing him down is James Pearson and Sean Burks. 9 minutes and 15 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter.
And Walter Odom, number 82 from American High School in Miami, Florida, throwing a fine block out there. Walter showed that he had the ability to catch the ball when they throw it to him, and he's always been a fine blocker, and he's doing a really nice job out there tonight.
3rd and 1. Ball on the 9. Kerwin Bell. Give to Neal Anderson. Stop at the 10-yard line. Doesn't get the 1st down. Toby Caston, the inside linebacker, makes the hit, number 69.
Caston makes a beautiful play here, shooting through the line of scrimmage to get Anderson. Headgear to headgear. A great play by Toby Caston, number 69 for LSU.
There you're looking at the stats for Jeff Dawson at 85. 5 for 5 in field goals. And this kick is going to come from the 17-yard line. So it'll be a 27-yard attempt by Dawson, and it splits the uprights for the field goal. The score, Florida 10, LSU nothing. We'll be right back after these messages. Sam Martin with the return for LSU crosses the 15-yard line as he gets to between the 17 and the 18-yard line on the kickoff, brought down by Scott Marshall for the Florida Gators. 8:04 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Florida leads by a score of 10-0. Scoring drive, 11 plays, 55 yards, 5 minutes 47 time of possession. Jeff Dawson's 27-yard field goal does the job. He's 6 for 6 in the field goal category. 1st and 10 now for the Tigers, and the give-off goes to the tailback, Dalton Hilliard, and he hits to the 20-yard line as he picks up a couple of tough yards. Hilliard, by the way, 10 carries for 25 yards this evening.
That's incredible. He's averaging 146 yards per game this season, and that orange and blue's jumping all over him out there tonight. Jerry Anderson, the specialty team coach, Jim, has to be excited because his kickoff team got LSU to start inside their own 20, and with the way the defense is playing tonight, that's a tremendous advantage to the defensive unit.
There's Hilliard. You're taking a look at him right now. 2nd and 8 is the situation, and he gets the call outside and goes to the 25-yard line before Adrian White, the junior from Orange Park, Florida, brings him down.
What a headhunter Adrian White is. He's one of the hardest hitting players on the team. He's got that attitude that they want defensive players to have, that mean streak.
Hostility is what it's called.
It's like my wife has from time to time.
3rd and 3, ball on the 25-yard line.
She's asleep by now. She didn't hear that one.
I don't think that she pushes you around very much. I don't think anybody pushes you around, as a matter of fact. Ball on the 25-yard line. LSU's Wickersham drops the throw. He's got time and bounces into the air, incomplete. The intended receiver was James coming out of the backfield, number 33. Jarvis Williams was the coverage man for Florida.
That's a very close play. It did look like Jarvis had his backhand on Gary James along his back. Let's see if we can pick it up. Wickersham's looking for Gary James, cutting across the middle. And it was probably the hand on the backside that caused the flag to be thrown. But that was a wishy-washy type of a call.
Well, what it's going to do is put the football at the 30-yard line and give LSU 1st and 10. Florida sitting up on a 10-0 lead with 6 minutes and 38 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter here at Tiger Stadium. Florida's put an excellent drive together to get a 3-pointer on the board, to give themselves that 10-point lead. The give off goes to Hilliard, and he is swarmed under by Florida. But you got to give the guy credit. He fights for every inch. Alonzo Johnson and Henry Brown combined. Brown, the big sophomore nose guard from Fort Myers.
Dalton Hilliard is not a big fella. Watch Arthur White, Jarvis Williams, Adrian White coming up to help out on the play. Henry Brown was in there, 99. Nice play, Henry, from Fort Myers, Florida. Here's Bill Dorsey. Bill's one of my old teammates with the Gators as an attorney in Jacksonville.
You know them all. Wickersham looks to throw, and it is blocked by Florida. Let's see what they call it. They say he did block it, and he went down at the 27-yard line. It was Rondi Weston, the big guy, and Tommy Duhart also there, number 78.
Tommy Duhart's seen action for the first time this season. He's coming off disciplinary action, and he's excited about playing, I'm sure. It looks like he really didn't intend to hit that one. Was that Henry Brown, maybe, number 99? But anyway, Tommy Duhart's seen action tonight.
So it'll be a 3rd down coming back for LSU, and 9 with the ball on the 31-yard line. And we'll be back with more from Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge. But first, let's take time out for these messages. Wickersham has to scramble out of the pocket and might have picked up the 1st down at the 41-yard line. It was 3rd and 9 from the 31. Scott Armstrong brings him down.
Gerald Dickens making the play also in the open field. Clifford Charlton on the rush. Jeff Brock, number 96, was not able to put pressure inside. Dickens comes over and makes the tackle along with Scott Armstrong.
1st and 10 at the 40, and LSU is 1 for 7 on 3rd down conversions, rather 2 for 7 on 3rd down conversions. The give-off was to Hilliard, and he goes to the 42. Alonzo Johnson, the big senior from Springfield, Florida, makes the tackle. Short gain on the play.
Hey, Gators!
So it'll be 2nd down 8 with the ball resting at the 38-yard line. 5 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Florida 10, LSU nothing.
Wickersham is not going to beat you with his running, but he does have the ability to scramble also, and he picked up a key 1st down for LSU.
Wickersham looks to throw, dumps a quick one out of the backfield to James. And Gary James goes across the midfield stripe to the 47-yard line. And and he's brought down by Adrian White. So LSU is putting a drive together now on Florida.
Wickersham out into the flat to Gary James. James using his running ability in the open field. James coming into this ball game had 8 receptions for LSU.
He's the same type of all-purpose back for LSU that John L. Williams is for Florida. Wickersham to throw, and does, and it is incomplete. Intended for Hilliard, and he was shook up hard as Jarvis Williams and Gerald Dickens combined for Florida.
Well, you're talking about a head-hunting trip. Jarvis Williams and Gerald Dickens could not wait to get that shot, and they took advantage of it. And that's good, clean football. That's what football is all about. They want Dalton Hilliard to think about his next pass route.
2nd and 10, the ball on the 47-yard line. LSU in Florida territory, and the Gators with the 4-man front put the pressure on LSU's Hilliard. They block it. The attempted pass blocked by Alonzo Johnson.
They just cannot keep Clifford Charlton and Alonzo Johnson out of Wickersham's face. If he had have gotten the ball out there, Gary James might still be running, but he didn't have the time, and I believe they even deflected the pass at the same time.
Let's take a look at it.
All right, look at the pressure at the top of your screen. Watch Alonzo Johnson from the top, and watch Clifford Charlton coming underneath inside. The tackle just released a little bit too quick. That was a one-man screen. The tackle was trying to get out there, but he released too early. Number 75, John Hazard, got out there a little bit too early.
3rd and 10, and it's pitched out in the flat to James once again, and he turns the corner upfield, and it looks like he's got the first down. Ricky Knight bumps him out of bounds on the far side. Just got the word on the attendance, 78,598 fans here this evening.
LSU loves to throw to their backs, and here's Gary James getting out in the open. Ricky Knight coming up to make the play. LSU putting their first good, solid drive together of the evening.
So the Tigers get to the 36-yard line of Florida. Now Florida going with the 3 down linemen, and the give-off goes to the fullback, and he is stacked up, and that is Jean-Baptiste. Garland Jean-Baptiste. Jeff Roth makes the tackle.
This has got to be the deepest penetration of the night for LSU. I don't remember them being inside the Gator 35-yard line. Do you, Jim? Possibly they have. Maybe we can get some information from the truck, but I don't think they've penetrated that far into the Gator territory until this point.
This is, as far as my memory goes, I would concur with that. 2nd and 9 at the 35-yard line. Oh! Wickersham is brought down way behind the line of scrimmage, and bringing him down, Clifford Charlton coming in strong.
John Hazard, number 75, having all kinds of problem, and my heart bleeds for that tackle, because I played that position. When you're playing against somebody with the speed of Clifford Charlton, he's got to stay with him. He didn't have a chance. He was like a swinging door. Clifford Charlton, with all that tremendous speed, was by him before Hazard knew what was happening.
2nd and, or rather 3rd down, and 19 yards to go. You know, on the, let's call it the 44-yard line.
They say speed kills, Jim Gallagher, and that's a perfect example of how it does. Here he comes again.
Wickersham, let's go long, and it is intercepted by Florida at the 16-yard line. He's at the 25, the 30, coming to the near side, Ricky Knight, and he's still on his feet as he crosses the 45 to the 46-yard line. A big play for the Gators.
Ricky Knight on the interception. Watch Clifford Charlton coming in from the right side of your screen. He's coming in like a rocket. They tackle him. The quarterback gets kissed by Henry Brown, number 99. Mitch Andrews was the intended receiver. Ricky Knight makes a fine interception back to the 50-yard line. Mike Cobb is going to make the tackle, number 65, for the Bengal Tigers.
31 yards, 1st and 10 now for the Gators at the 45-yard line of LSU as they stop the drive.
What a defense, huh?
Oh, they've been tough this evening. Odom, the motion man, the tight end, 82, and they call a timeout. And we'll be back here in Baton Rouge. But right now, let's take timeout for these messages. We're back in Baton Rouge, 1st and 10 on the 45 for the Florida Gators. They have just intercepted as Ricky Knight comes up with his 3rd interception of the year. LSU with their 3 down linemen, 3-4 defense being used. The give-off goes to Neil Anderson coming to the near side. He's across the 45 and down across the 40 as he goes to the 37-yard line before he is brought down, and he's brought down by Michael Brooks.
What more can you say about a young man than just by watching him run? I don't need to say anything. Just watch this.
Well, he's close to 100 yards now with 16 carries for 92 yards. And here's the interception man, Ricky Knight, a sophomore from Gainesville, Florida.
Now you're looking for that killer instinct. You're looking for your offense to come out there and sock it to the opponent.
1st and 10 from the 37, and it's John L. Williams coming to the near side, and he's bumped out of bounds after a short gain on the play by Sean Burks, the inside linebacker, along with Toby Caston.
10 points can disappear in a hurry in the 4th quarter, but 17 points is a lot more difficult, especially with the way the Gator defense is playing tonight. This Gator offense has to think points. We need points.
1 minute, 55 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Florida leading LSU 10-0. 2nd down 7. Ball on the 34. Kerwin Bell, the quarterback. Bell, a quick one out to John L. Williams, turns inside, and he's across the 35 to the 34-yard line. Brought down by Darrell Phillips for LSU.
The Gators are trying to sneak a screen out to the left flat. David Williams has a little bit of a problem with number 72, Carl Wilson, putting a little too much pressure on Kerwin Bell, and a fine play in the flat by Darrell Phillips, number 62.
3rd and 7. Ball on the 34-yard line. 1 minute and 15 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Kerwin Bell dropping, looking, going long. It is complete to the 20-yard line for a 1st down for the University of Florida. Complete pass for the Gators, and it gives them a 1st down, and that would be right at the 20-yard line.
Norman Jefferson making the play from his cornerback position, but what a dimension Kerwin Bell and these wide receivers add to this Gator offense.
Ricky Nattiel on the reception. 1st and 10 for the Gators, coming back at the 20-yard line. Kerwin Bell's give goes to Neil Anderson. He is hit and stacked up as he hits the line of scrimmage by Toby Caston, the junior inside linebacker, along with Sean Burks, the other inside linebacker. By the way, late in the 4th quarter, Jim and I will pick the Mid-State Federal Player of the Game. At the end of the season, a scholarship will be awarded to the university in honor of the Mid-State Federal Player of the Year.
Jack Gerzina, the senior tackle, 5th-year senior, getting his first start tonight, doing a fine job at offensive tackle for the Gators.
2nd and 10, the ball on the 20-yard line. Dropping back is Kerwin Bell, throws that out to Anderson, and he's inside the 5, and he's down to the 3-yard line. Neil Anderson coming out of the backfield. Rehodge and Kevin Guidry combined to make the hit, but Florida's got that football inside the 5.
Well, the Bingo Tigers just blow this coverage. Neil Anderson is wide open. Ron Sancho, the linebacker, was running with the tight end, created a vacancy out there for Neil Anderson, and someone blew the coverage, and Neil was wide open, gets down to the 3-yard line.
We'll be right back with more from Baton Rouge, but first we're going to take time out for these messages. 1st and goal at the 3 for the Florida Gators. They lead the football game 10-0. 13 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Kerwin Bell at the controls. He's gone all the way at quarterback tonight. Field level shot as Neil Anderson gets the call and goes into the end zone for the score and puts Florida up by a score of 16-0. And not only did, oh wait, flag on the play. Flag on the play, and it looks like it's going to go against Florida. Let's look at it.
Well, they don't call holding on running plays too often, if that's what it is. Jimmy Davis making a fine block. John L. Williams, perhaps it was face mask call on the defense.
Let's take a look at it again now. We've got another look at it right here, Jim.
It is a touchdown.
All right, we'll be back with the fourth quarter, but first, we'll take time out here at Baton Rouge for these messages. Well, we're back here at Baton Rouge. We thought we were into the fourth quarter of play. However, a quarter cannot end on a penalty. And the penalty was for holding. It was against Florida. Move the football back to the 13-yard line. It is first and goal from the 13 for Florida. The call, Neil Anderson, as he rips to the 7-yard line.
And again, to see holding on a running play is not something that you see very often.
And that now is the end of the fourth quarter. And at the end of 4 quarters of play, the score is the Florida Gators 10 and the Tigers of LSU nothing here in Baton Rouge.
We are the boys of old Florida.
And they're singing on the far side, "We are the boys of old Florida." And we'll be back with more from Baton Rouge. But right now, we'll take time out for these messages. Starting the final quarter of action here at Baton Rouge at Tiger Stadium. The ball on the 7-yard line. It's second and goal for the Gators at the 7. And here they come.
So critical to get points.
Yes, it is. John L. Williams, the up back in the eye. Neil Anderson at the tailback spot. Kerwin Bell looking for the end zone. Goes into the end zone. Intercepted by LSU. Intercepted by Chris Carrier for LSU. So a big, big play for the Tigers.
This Chris Carrier's a big kid, 6'5", 205. I don't know that Kerwin sees him. Oh, man, he gets off the ground at least 2 feet. What an interception. He was going for Frankie Neal at the baseline of the goal of the end zone, but great interception by Chris Carrier.
All right, that is the 3rd interception of the evening. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Out to the 25-yard line. A completion to Mitch Andrews, the tight end for LSU. Arthur White, a sophomore from Frostproof, the inside linebacker, makes the tackle for the Gators. Ball goes to the 25.
You haven't seen LSU use Mitch Andrews much tonight, but he's an all-SEC performer. He's averaged about 20 catches per season during his career here at LSU. Look for LSU to go to that tight end more often.
2nd and 5 at the 25. Wickersham looking, brought down behind the line of scrimmage at the 19-yard line by Sam Garland for Florida.
John Hazard having problems blocking big Sam Garland from Fitzgerald, Georgia. That's that tall drink of water we were talking about. Sam Garland, 6'7", 264-pound senior. Nice job, Sam Garland.
He really put the pressure on Jeff Wickersham, taking him down way behind the line, causing LSU a big loss. It's 3rd and 11. The ball at the 31-yard line. Again, Wickersham. Oh! And Wickersham hit and scrambles out of the pocket. Scrambles in there before Florida finally brings him down at the 24-yard line. Alonzo Johnson was the guy that came in and did the job.
I tell you what, if the Gators could get a little bit more penetration out of their nose guard, Wickersham wouldn't have a chance. Look at the pressure coming from outside. Clifford Charlton, Alonzo Johnson, but he steps up. Henry Brown, the nose guard, is a little late penetrating through the middle, and Wickersham is able to escape.
The punter for LSU is on right now. There's Wickersham talking along the sideline, and he boots it away to Ricky Nattil, who fair catches at the 42. And so anyway, it was taken down at the 42-yard line. And that means that Florida gets another shot at the football with 13 minutes to play in the football game, and 34 yards was the distance on the punt. By the way, the Lady Gator volleyball team is in the middle of its season, is off to a roaring start. Coach Marilyn McCravy's team has already won as many games as it did all of last season. The Lady Gators to be at home against Central Florida this coming Wednesday, October 9th, in the O'Connell Center. Admission is free, so be sure to come to the O'Connell Center for great volleyball action at 7:30. 1st and 10 from the 42, and getting the call for the University of Florida is John L. Williams, who comes to the near side. A short gain. Tommy Clapp and Michael Brooks combined to make the stop for LSU.
Talking about Michael Brooks, number 94. Bill Arnsberger, who is a defensive genius, says that he thinks Michael Brooks has as much talent as any defensive player he's ever been around, and that's quite a statement coming from Bill Arnsberger.
I would say so. All the great ones that he has coached over the years in college and with the Dolphins and the Giants. 2nd and 8 at the 44-yard line for Florida. And Kerwin Bell looks, throws out in the flat, and they give him the completion at the 47-yard line. Ricky Nattil with the catch on the far side, and it was Steve Rehage making the tackle for LSU. That's going to give Florida the first down at the 47.
It looks like a clean reception. Ricky Nattil comes back for the football. It hits him right in the chest. We can't see for sure. The LSU faithful are saying it was incomplete. The orange and blue are saying it was a completion. Look at this total offense, Jim Gallagher.
Florida just completely dominant this evening in that category. 1st and 10 at the 47. They give off to John L. Williams, and he goes to the 41-yard line before he's brought down by Ron Sancho, outside linebacker for LSU on the left side. 11 minutes, 40 seconds to play. Florida leads 10-0.
Well, another key to helping the defense out is to give them a rest. And when the offense is on the field and can chew the clock up and eat the time up, you're giving your defense a rest, so they come back and they'll continue to be pumped up.
I formation, 2nd and 4 at the 41 for the Gators as they drive on LSU. John L. Williams fighting for every inch against that tough LSU defense. Goes to the 37-yard line. Toby Caston and Chris Carrier combine and bring him down for the Bayou Bengals. 11 minutes to play in the football game. On 3rd down conversions, Florida is 6 of 12. So it's 3rd and 2 right now with the ball on the 38-yard line, and they're in LSU territory. Slot I being used by the Gators. Bell gives, and his give goes to the fullback straight up the middle, John L. Williams. Sean Burks makes the hit, and let's see where they're going to spot it down and see what the situation is.
Looks like they're going to call it 4th down and not even mark it, not even measure it.
Well, they do. They call it the 4th down. And so we see what Florida's going to do right now with the football on the 38-yard line. And now there is a timeout on the field, as we will take timeout here too. And so we'll be right back at Tiger Stadium. But right now, timeout for these messages. Deep punt by Ray Criswell goes into the end zone, and so it's going to be coming out to the 20-yard line where LSU will put it in play, a 38-yarder by Criswell.
Jim Gallagher, this is a very close ball game. The Gators are dominating on the stats, but that's irrelevant. They've only got 10 points, and LSU's capable of making that up. There's still 10 minutes to go in this 4th quarter.
1st and 10 on the 20-yard line. Wickersham, and he's got his tight end at the 25-yard line for a short gainer. And that was number 83, Mitch Andrews, catching the football. It would be Arthur White and Scott Armstrong making the tackle for Florida at the 26-yard line.
Really a problem for the Gators, dominating the stats, but not getting on the board, not getting the points on the board. And LSU remains a real threat here in the 4th quarter.
2nd and 4 at the 26-yard line. Wickersham looking out there, and it is complete. No, dropped the football at the 34-yard line. The receiver was McGee, and Curtis Stacy right on him.
Curtis Stacy making a big hit. It looked like Rogie McGee had the ball, but Curtis Stacy was able to knock it away.
You see the time in the corner of your screen, 9 minutes 31 seconds on 3rd down and 4. Ball on the 26-yard line for LSU. Split backfield behind Jeff Wickersham. Youngster from Merritt Island, Florida, throws a quick swing pass out to James, and James comes to the near side before he's wrestled out here at the 41-yard line by Jarvis Williams, a sophomore cornerman from Palatka.
Well, they're getting Gary James out on Patrick Miller, and Patrick kind of gets caught in no man's land and has to chase Gary James from the backside. Gary James has good speed. Patrick Miller closes. Jarvis Williams, Ricky Knight come over to knock him out of bounds a little over the 40-yard line of the Bengal Tigers.
They pick up the first down at the 41, and Wickersham to throw. No, he's down behind the line of scrimmage at the 33-yard line. Again, Florida's defense coming right in there and making the hit. Tommy Duhart makes the tackle, and he is the big young man, 6'4", 260, a sophomore from Belle Glade.
I tell you what, that Gator defense is not giving Jeff Wickersham that second look. He gets one look, and that's it. If he does not release the ball to the primary receiver, he's a dead duck.
Well, they've come up with 6 sacks this evening. 2nd and 18. The ball on the 33-yard line. Wickersham runs out of the pocket and keeps the football himself, turns upfield, and gets bounced out of bounds in front of his own bench at the midfield area. Let's see where they say that he went out. They say he went out at the 49-yard line. So he was close to picking up the first down. Curtis Stacy took him out.
Well, Wickersham delivers the blow to Curtis Stacy after he breaks through the containment, scoots down the sideline. He doesn't have the great speed of a quarterback like Don Smith that we saw last week from Mississippi State, but he has enough speed to move the ball down the field.
Good size, too, at 6'2" and 195. 3rd and 2 on the 49 for LSU. Wickersham to throw, and it is incomplete. It was intended for Wendell Davis, the sophomore wide receiver for LSU. Jarvis Williams, the coverage man, goes as incomplete.
Wendell Davis, number 82, had 7 receptions coming into this ball game. Here we see Wickersham delivering the ball down the field, but Wendell Davis is not able to come up with a catch.
4th down, and LSU is going for it on 4th down at the 49-yard line. Wickersham looking, throws out in the flat very quickly, and drilled as he catches the football is Gary James by Scott Armstrong. A big defensive play for Florida.
This Gator defense has really got the jaws working out there tonight. They're chewing the Bengal Tigers up. Scott Armstrong doing a fine job from the inside linebacker position. Gutsy call by LSU. 4th down inside their own 50-yard line. 8 minutes left to go on the clock. They're trying to shake something loose somehow on offense, but they weren't able to do it right there.
1st and 10 at the 46-yard line for the Gators, and they're in LSU territory. Motion man is Frankie Neal, and the give-off goes to Neil Anderson, rips off a great gain across the 40 to the 39-yard line, brought down by Toby Caston.
Well, you can't talk about the Gator defense enough tonight as we're watching the Gator offense on the field, but you're not talking about chopped liver when you're looking at LSU. They got more talent on offense than almost anyone in our conference, and the Gator defense just has dominated them completely tonight.
Less than 8 minutes to play in the football game. 2nd and 4 at the 40. The Florida Gators attacking on the Bengal Tigers of LSU.
Points. They need points.
Kerwin Bell chased out of the pocket, heaves it long and way out of bounds on the far side, and of course gets the boos from the crowd. Under a lot of pressure, he just let it sail. Henry Thomas, a junior from Houston, Texas, the nose guard in there. And there you're looking at a couple of guys that have had a great evening on defense, as has the entire defense. By the way, Bell passing this evening is 13 for 24 for 154 yards.
Those are the guys. Jarvis Williams, Scott Armstrong made that 4th down tackle, gives the Gators great field position on the Bengal Tiger 40-yard line right now. 3rd down.
And now here is Kerwin Bell's handoff, and it goes to Neil Anderson, who rips across the 30 and goes down to the 27-yard line on that carry. And so now he just needs a few yards to become the all-time ground gainer for the University of Florida, surpassing Tony Green. Chris Carrier made the tackle for LSU.
You're seeing a totally efficient major college football team out there on that field tonight. The offense is strong, moving the ball up and down the field, not getting the points, but the defense is dominating the opponent. A tremendous effort by the offense and the defense of the University of Florida.
1st and 10 for the Florida Gators, and the carry is down to the 21-yard line, and that would be John L. Williams, Tommy Clapp, and Michael Brooks the tacklers for LSU's Bengal Tigers. Neil Anderson has now become the leading rusher in University of Florida history, surpassing the great Tony Green.
And he split so much of the time last year with Lorenzo Hampton. Imagine what this man would have done if he carried the ball as much as a normal starting tailback would in college football.
That's right. 2nd and 3 is the situation. John L. Williams gets the call outside and turns upfield, taken out of bounds by LSU on the Florida side of the field. Chris Carrier, a sophomore, takes him out right by the Florida bench.
Now that young offensive line is really doing a job out there tonight. They're moving the ball down the field. As we mentioned, they haven't gotten the points, but they're really taking control of the line of scrimmage.
A first down for the Florida Gators.
Well, we're looking at the offense, but I believe Clifford Charlton is getting my vote possibly at this point for the Mid-State Federal Player of the Game. We're going to see how that works out as we tick down the 4th quarter.
Okay, the give-off goes to John L. Williams, and he goes to the 15-yard line for a short gain on the play. Sean Burks, senior inside linebacker for LSU, makes the hit. That'll bring up 2nd down 8 after a short 2-yard gain. 6 minutes and 12 seconds to play in the football game, and the ball is on the 15-yard line. So now we see Mr. Kerwin Bell at the line as the Bell system goes into effect. On the I formation, Neil Anderson with a carry, and Neil Anderson down to the 12-yard line. Brought down by Ron Sancho.
Now the clock continues to tick away, and that's very important. Again, we mentioned that the Gator offense is moving the ball, but they're killing that clock also. LSU's running out of time.
Florida sitting up on a 10-0 lead, and they're knocking on LSU's door. Anderson, 21 carries for 118 yards. 3rd and 6 at the 13-yard line for the Gators. And the carry goes to Neil Anderson, who goes inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. The tackler again, Chris Carrier.
What a dimension, or what dimensions the Gator offense has. They've got the tight end they can throw the ball to. They've got terrific wide receivers. They've got a powerfully strong offensive line and 2 talented running backs. There's hardly anything this Gator offense is not capable of doing.
Bill Arnsparger, head coach at LSU, graduate of Miami of Ohio, 10-3-1 since coming to Tiger Country. He was 8-3-1, went to the Sugar Bowl last year, and an 85 coming into this game, 2-0-0. But right now, his team trails by 10 points as the Florida Gators lead here in Baton Rouge.
I doubt if you've seen many goose eggs here in Tiger Stadium. Maybe they can help us out in the research to see the last time LSU got shut out at home. And right now, the Gators are looking at a big goose egg, and that's so thrilling for a defensive staff. Charlie Bailey and Zaven Uralian and Dan Coughlin and Ty Smith and all the guys coaching the Gator defense.
4th down, and they're going to, it looks like, go for the field goal. And Jeff Dawson kicked one a little bit earlier to give Florida a pretty nice lead by a score of 10-0 after the touchdown. The pass was to Neil Anderson, and Neil Anderson threw the pass, as a matter of fact, for the touchdown. 4th down, less than a yard, and so the kick will come from the 15-yard line. It'll be a 25-yard attempt by Jeff Dawson. Ray Criswell to hold, and Dawson boots it, and it looks very good right through the middle. With the score, Florida 13, and LSU will be right back. Getting ready for the kickoff as Francis will boot for the University of Florida, a freshman from nearby Stark. And he kicks it. It goes high and out of bounds on the far side, flag down, and so they'll bring it back and do it over as Albert the Alligator is happy about the score for Florida. 9 plays, 38 yards, 4 minutes and 6 seconds, a 25-yard field goal by awesome Jeff Dawson. So he is perfect in the field goal department this year. As they bring the football back, University of Florida Gators coming in with a record of 2-0-1, and next week it'll be Tennessee at Florida Field.
And it's important that we realize that the University of Florida is a class act, and when Tennessee comes to town next week, the kids are going to do their best on the field, and we're going to conduct ourselves in a fashion that the university would be proud of the fans, I'm sure.
I'm sure that they will, too. There's the boot. It's high and deep. Touched by LSU. He's got to pick it up now. He's at the 5, the 10. He comes to the near side, moving outside, and taken down at the 23-yard line is Greg Jackson, the run back man for LSU, and brought down by Dwayne Glover. So, with the football spotted down now at the 23-yard line, a little over 4 minutes to play. Florida leading 13-0. I'm sure, Jim, that LSU is going to pull out all the stops offensively.
They don't have a choice. 4:09 left in this game. They're going to be putting the ball up in the air.
Wickersham, quick one out in the flat as he gets Hilliard coming out of the backfield, and Hilliard goes across the 30 to the 31-yard line. A nice gain on that, almost picking up the first down. Ricky Knight, the sophomore strong safety from Gainesville, a graduate of Gainesville High School, makes the hit for Florida. The hurry-up offense being used now by LSU. Wickersham, again looking, throws, and it is complete for the first down to the 38-yard line to the tight end Mitch Andrews, a big senior. Scott Armstrong and Gerald Dickens, the tacklers for the University of Florida. Armstrong from Ocala Forest High School. Some individual game tickets remain for the Southwestern Louisiana, Virginia Tech, and Kentucky games at Florida Field. The games against Tennessee and Florida State already sold out. For more information, you can call the Gator Ticket Office at 1-800-342-7851. Quick swing pass intended for Dalton Hilliard, and it goes as incomplete. And the Mid-State Federal Player of the Game goes to Clifford Charlton. So Jim and I have made the decision, and we have selected Clifford as the Mid-State Federal Player of the Game, and what a great performance he had, too.
That was an easy decision, wasn't it? That kid was just fantastic. 3 quarterback sacks and at least 10 pressures. I would say double-digit on the pressures.
2nd and 10 for LSU at the 38-yard line. Wickersham's pass is blocked by big Rondi Weston, the 6'5", 256-pounder from Belglade, great high school basketball player. The last shutout for LSU was 1980, and that was against Florida State.
I can't believe Florida State shut out LSU in 1980, but I guess they did. That's what we're looking at. No reflection on Florida State, but they're not known for their shutouts, are they?
No. 3rd and 10 on the 38-yard line as Wickersham rolls out of the pocket. He's under pressure by Florida. Let's go. And it is incomplete at the midfield stripe. The intended receiver was McGee, and Ricky Mulberry, the coverage man for the University of Florida.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Career
and mom.
Rushing leader at the University of Florida. What a class act this young man is. He's in the Student Senate. I understand he's taken some classes on Tuesday afternoon that prevent him from going to football practice, but Galen Hall says, that's all right, Neil, your academics come first, and he's just a fine young man.
LSU goes for it on 4th down, Jim, as Wickersham way back there being chased, and Weston brings him down. The ball up in the air. Picked off by LSU at the 40-yard line or 44-yard line, and that was Wendell Davis who came up with a football, and let's see what they say.
Short of the first down regardless. Mitch Andrews knocks the ball up in the air. Wendell Davis makes the reception, but he's still short of the first down marker. The Gators will get the ball inside LSU territory. Look at him fight.
Wow.
Wendell Davis comes up with it, but the Gators are all over him, and the fans are starting to stroll out of Tiger Stadium.
That was called follow the bouncing football. The ball is at the 44-yard line, and Florida's in possession with 2:55 to play. They've got the lead 13-0. Now here's a big penalty coming up, and this one is going against LSU. Goes against them, and it is for the personal foul, so it moves the football back to the 24-yard line.
2:55 left. LSU's going to have trouble keeping Florida out of the end zone right here. The Gators are in great field position. They might penetrate that end zone again.
Florida leads it by a score of 13-0. Kerwin Bell is the quarterback with a slot offense. And the give-off goes to the fullback, and that is John L. Williams. And Williams at the 10, the 5, and he is in the end zone for the score. A nice run by John L. Williams. The other half of the tandem backfield comes through with a great carry.
This is going to make that trip back to Gainesville a lot of fun. The trip back to Florida, a lot of fun for all these loyal orange and blue Gator fans that have come to Tiger Stadium. Watch the strength of John L. Williams. He gets inside, a little bit of a hole, but he refuses to go down. Number 11, Chris Carrier has a shot, but John L. has the speed to get down the sideline and outrun Steve Rehaj into the end zone.
Jeff Dawson with the try for the extra point. The hold comes from Ray Criswell, and he gets it. And so, with the score, the University of Florida 20, LSU nothing. We'll be right back. Ball, and he boots it high, and it goes deep, and it's taken by LSU deep in the end zone. And that would be Victor Jones with a carry as he goes across the 15-yard line to the 17-yard line. 2 minutes and 40 seconds to play. Florida leads 20-0. Scott Marshall brought him down for the University of Florida Gators.
20-0 on a team that's ranked number 8 in the nation at their stadium in front of 78,000 of their fans. That's an incredible tribute to the Florida Gator team of 1985.
Well, you can look at the stands and see that many of them are leaving right now, heading for the exits. Florida taking on Tennessee next week in Gainesville. New quarterback Mickey Guidry for LSU. Guidry looking to throw, and it is blocked and bounces out here on the near side. It was Alonzo Johnson who got in there. Those Gator fans are going to have a happy trip back to the Sunshine State.
It looks like that trip's going to be painless as well.
I think so. John L. Williams, 29-yarder. One play, 29 yards. 10 seconds the possession time. Don't worry about his 40 time. It took him 10 seconds. He had to bounce off some people to get there. Throwing out in the flat, incomplete, is the new quarterback, Mickey Guidry. Harold Owens, the intended receiver.
Jim, I don't remember hearing an air raid signal, but I think they've sounded one in the area here because the people are sprinting to the exits.
Carl Wilson being driven off. He's a young man who had a fine game for LSU this evening, and he delivered the invocation before the football game. At the 16-yard line, it will be 3rd down and 10.
And a lot of time. If LSU doesn't make a first down, the Gators might score again.
Dropping back is Guidry. Looking, and he throws, and it is incomplete. Fumble. At the 30-yard line, fumble. If they say they give him a completion, yes, then it is Florida's football at the 30-yard line. They say he had it long enough to be a completion. Ricky Knight, the man making the big defensive play for Florida. The receiver, Wendell Davis. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, that's questionable. Let's see if the young man has possession. Wendell Davis, number 82. Yes, he did have it.
He had it long enough.
And Adrian White, I believe, makes the hit
on him.
Ricky Knight is going to pick the ball up after Sam Martin tries to pick it up.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Gators at the 30. 2 minutes, 17 seconds, and Rodney Brewer is in at quarterback as he goes with an eye. And his give-off goes to Anthony Williams, the backup fullback sophomore from Tampa. Darrell Phillips makes the hit for LSU.
Well, you see the orange and blue dominating the stands over in the corner. They didn't give them very good seats, but they showed up in great numbers. And the rest of the purple and gold are exiting rapidly.
Heading out towards the exit right now. 2nd and 11. The ball on the 31-yard line for Florida. And they're in LSU territory. 1:40 to play. Galen Hall about to salt away another victory. Unbeaten as a head coach. The give-off now goes to the tailback, and in now is Reggie Corlew, 6 feet, a sophomore from Niceville, Florida. Ron Sancho is the hitman for LSU.
Galen Hall, I'm sure, is going to keep the ball on the ground. He has no intention of getting a cheap score at LSU's expense, and they'll probably just let the clock run out. Minute 10, minute 9 on the clock right now. Rodney Brewer's taking as much time as he can in the huddle to let the clock run down.
Galen's record will run to 11-0-1 as a head coach, and in 1985 he will be 3-0-1 as Florida gets ready to take on Tennessee next week at Florida Field. 3rd and 9 at the 29-yard line for the Gators. Rodney Brewer's give-off goes to number 39, and that would be Wayne Williams, and he is a freshman from Titusville, Florida. It would be Roland Barbet making the tackle. Florida unbeaten now in 14 games. That's the nation's longest unbeaten streak.
What a leader Galen Hall is. From the moment he took possession of that head coaching responsibility, he's been unflappable. He doesn't pretend to be unflappable. He really is unflappable.
Yes.
There's nothing you can do to get him that excited. Coming to LSU, he looks forward to it, but he doesn't worry about it. Going to Auburn, he looks forward to it. He's not worried about it. He's just a tremendous leader.
The seconds tick away, and there's a flag down on the field at the 22-yard line with 3 seconds to play, and it looks like a penalty is going to be marched off against the Gators, and it would be for taking too much time. And Florida leads by a score of 20-0, 3 seconds to play.
Well, you
now,
know,
LSU ranked is number 8 and Florida's number 11. That means the Gators have to climb into the top 10, and there is the unflappable Galen Hall.
big smile on his face.
Waiting for the snap is Rodney Brewer, and Brewer's give goes to the fullback. He takes it straight up the gut, and that would be Reggie Corlew again, and he is brought down by Toby Caston. The end of our football game here at Baton Rouge as the Florida Gators defeat the LSU Bengal Tigers by a score of 20-0. Galen Hall shaking hands with Bill Arnsparger and being walked off the field, and here he is coming off the field, being talked to on the field right now by the radio network. And so we'll go ahead and pick up some of the sound from the radio network interview.
You can't ask for our defense to play any better. I think they came of age the second half. Last week's game met the challenge of a very good LSU team, and very happy with the win.
Coach, in your last 6 quarters, the defense hasn't given up anything. What are you starting to do now?
Well, I just think they're getting the confidence of playing together that they should have. I think they're a good defensive football team, and they're getting better every week.
You think the team will get a little boost out of the fact that you had a big win with Kerwin having a tough game?
I think so. Kerwin is going to have one of those games. He had an off game. He tried to force some things down close, trying to get the big play. He won't do that anymore. He's too good a quarterback.
Thanks again. We'll see you after.
Thank you, Larry.
Galen Hall, career record. Right there you saw it, 11 wins as he comes through with a victory. And right now, Florida is 2-0 in the Southeastern Conference, and they are 3-0-1 on the year as they get ready to take on the Volunteers of Tennessee, and that'll be next Saturday at Florida Field. And you can catch all of the television action on the station you're watching right now. We'll be right back with our closing comments, but first, we'll take time out for these messages.
Tony Robinson and Mike McGee showing up next week for Tennessee. They can throw the ball down the field. Big challenge for the Florida Gators in Gainesville next Saturday.
Yes, it will.